Hello everyone, my name is Rajvardhan Santosh Mai. I am from SYCSD and today I am going to be presenting some topics on database management systems. So this would be our agenda for today's video. The first point is what is database and data actually. Then what is DBMS, that is database management system. Uses of database management system. Database systems versus file systems. Need of DBMS, acid properties and advantages of DBMS, and applications of DBMS. So, without further delay, let's start with our presentation. So, what is data and database? So, the data is raw facts, figures, and that are organized, such as number, text, or observation. So, anything that is collected or we can receive information from can be referred to as data, like students in the class. The names of the students in the class is data. So their roll numbers is data. Now, database, an organized collection of data that allows easy access. So we have data, but to perceive information from that data or to visualize the data, we need to organize the data in certain form. So that is nothing but the database. So example of the database is customer details in shopping app. So the data of the customer will be stored in the app to personalize their experience, and that is the way the data is stored is nothing but a database. So what actually is database management system? So the formal definition of DBMS is a software system that enables user to define, create and manage databases. So a database is, as we saw in the previous slide, is a collection of data. So we know that in the field of computer engineering or software, data is the most important thing that we deal with in day-to-day basis. So to manage the data and to represent the data in a suitable form, a system is required to save the data and manage the data in a particular format, such that it could be easily retrieved and is easy to use. So the functions of the DBMS, that is database management systems, are data storage, retrieval and updating. It also ensures integrity and security of the data that we store and provides user-friendly interfaces for interaction. So as I said, that it stores data, retrieves data, and it is easy for users to handle the data. So the example of DBMS, that is database management systems, are MySQL, Oracle, PostgreSQL, etc. Uses of database management system. There are multiple uses of database management system. First is data organization. The data that we store needs to be organized in a certain way so that we can easily perceive information or receive information from that data. Data sharing. The data that we have needs to be shared in multiple cases, like in office scenarios. Multiple employees can work on the same database and can share information within themselves. Data security protects data from the unauthorized access. So, the data that is stored can be sensitive many times. So, database management system needs to provide security and and should guarantee access to the certain users that have access to the database. Backup and recovery. Many database management systems have the system to keep the backup. So the data that is being stored in the database is backed up periodically. So even if certain data is lost, we still have the backup of that data. And applications. So database is used in almost every application that we see in day-to-day basis. For example, there are applications of banking, healthcare, e-commerce, education, and more. So Now we'll see the difference between database systems versus the file system. So traditionally, in the early days of the computer, data was stored in the forms of files. First there was Word file, then there came Excel file, and then we came towards database. Each of the file system had its own drawback and advantages. So we'll see the uh, disadvantages and the advantages of DBMS over traditional file systems. So database systems provide centralized data management. All the data is governed by central entity and is centralized, while file systems decentralized and prone to redundancy. So there is a chance of redundancy in file system. That means many things can be repeated in file system, but in database management systems, they ensure that there is no repeatability. Supports complex queries and relationships. So in DBMS, we can query data very easily, and it provides multiple ways in which we can query data. But in file systems, there are various limitations. In database, it ensures data consistency and reduces redundancy. As I said, that traditional file systems does not provide this feature, and hence it becomes very tedious to understand the data from, or to retrieve the data from the traditional or in the from the files, compared to databases. And then databases provides backup and recovery mechanism. As I said in the previous slide, it is one of the uses of databases to keep the backup of the data that we have. But in file systems, there is no such mechanism for data recovery and backup. So now we'll see the need for DBMS. Many of the points that I discussed in previous slides, that are the disadvantages of the file systems, cause the need for an advanced database management system. So when the DBMS was introduced, it covered the following points that traditional file system didn't cover. First was it eliminates redundancy, which means that it reduces the duplicate data. So for example, if we want to put the data of a student, and by mistake we put the data of the same student twice, it would recognize that we have put the data of the same student twice and would create only a single row for the student. Then second point, it ensures consistency. Updates are reflected everywhere. So in file systems, when the updates were made to the one file, as the files were not connected via anything between multiple users, the data would be reflected only, the data would be updated only locally, and all the users would not be able to see those data. But DBMS solved this problem by bringing consistency to the data. Improved data security. So one of the most important thing about data is data security, because people need to trust their softwares in terms of data security, and DBMS provides this security. So it improved the quality of the database management significantly. Then again, data integrity. Data integrity is also one of the most important factor about DBMS, because it maintains accuracy and improves reliability. Then scalability. DBMS were very scalable, because multiple users can work on it simultaneously. So it could be used in a company which could work on a very large scale projects. So now we'll study the acid properties and advantages of DBMS. So acid stands for atomicity, consistency, isolation, and durability. Now we'll see in detail what these properties are. So atomicity. It states that the transactions are all or nothing. That means once a query is generated by a user, the query is either completed successfully or it is not completed at all. There is no in between it. So the advantage of this is all the transactions are completed or not completed. Nothing is left in between, and nothing is half left. So the data is handled very securely. Then there is consistency. As we discussed in previous slide, that the data is consistent throughout the database and not different for local users. Isolation. The transactions do not interfere with each other. It means that when there are multiple simultaneous transactions, each transaction is carried out in isolation and does not affect another transaction. This also improves data integrity and what we can say data integrity and ensures the security of the data. Then durability. It is durable. It can be used in long term uses and it is reliable. That's why DBMS follows the ACID properties. Then advantages of the DBMS are reliable transaction process, ensures data integrity and security, and supports concurrent user access. Because of the isolations of the transaction, it supports concurrent user access. Applications of DBMS. DBMS plays a crucial role in modern database data management by offering efficient, secure, and reliable solution. It is widely used in various industries to ensure data to ensure organized data handling and seamless operation. These industries include banking, media, uh, airport systems, library systems. There are countless systems that requires DBMS, and the core principles like asset properties and its application highlight its significance in today's digital age. So, with this slide, I will end this presentation and some points will be covered in the next presentation. Thank you.